Welcome back to the Football Terrace. This is the Bet Victor Top 6 show. What a panel we have for you tonight. Of course, joined by our regulars here, Jess and Daniel. But we also got Lewis here from City Extra, massive Manchester City platform, probably the biggest out there across socials. And of course, none other than lead judges from AFTV. James Redburn is joining us very, very soon. He's on his way. But evening, ladies and gents. How you all doing?
Good.
Oh, good. It's honestly, it's painful for me to see so many happy football fans right now. It's not good, but yeah, it's nice to have you all here. Lots to talk about, lots to delve into. Viewers, we're going to be looking at the Manchester derby. We're going to be looking at a bit of a Champions League review, who the favourites are for that right now. Previewing a couple of the games this weekend, including the Manchester derby, West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Watford, and also taking a look at the impact that Conte might have at Chelsea. Will Spurs win a trophy? We've got the odds all on that to bring you from Bet Victor as well. We want your views. We want your opinions as always. And of course, we are running a competition as well. I'll tell more of you about it later. If you can super chat and guess a secret phrase in this golden envelope behind me, you will win an Xbox 2 control pads and a game of your choice. We have had a few guesses already. A few people have super chatted and says, is the phrase Fergie time? It isn't. Is the phrase build-up play? No, none of them are the phrases. RDX, you guessed earlier as well, that isn't the phrase either. Remember, the clue I gave you yesterday for the secret phrase is it doesn't happen straight away. That is what it was. So keep them super chats coming. But I want to start with the England squad. I want to start with the England squad because it's caused a lot of debate on social media this afternoon. I want to go to one of a brand new guest, Lewis, making his debut today. A lot of people unhappy that the likes of Sancho, the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe, etc., have not been included in the squad. Give me your take on what Gareth Southgate picked.
Well, I mean, first of all, we've got to acknowledge that the squad at the moment is mad strong. Like, it's popping off. If you're looking at the talent in the squad, like, there's always going to be disappointments, you know what I mean? So you're not going to please everyone. But there are some players in there that you might think, should they be in there based on the form? You know what I mean? But they're big players, so straight away, I'm just looking at players like Harry Maguire, Raheem Sterling, who are obviously Gareth's go-to players, but they've not been in good form over the last couple of months. But Gareth's obviously sticking by these players, where these players, you know, like Tomori, I know there's a lot of people saying, why is he not in there? Why is Raheem Sterling in there? But I think when it's internationals, I think the form drop-off has to be a little bit bigger for Gareth to make that decision, because I feel like once you chop a player out, you can't just put him back in straight away unless he performs for a period of time. So, look, for me, the main one for me is probably Smith-Rowe. I think he's a proper baller and I think he'll be disappointed.
Yeah, Jess, how about yourself? Smith-Rowe not being in the England team, how annoying is that for you Gooners?
Well, I mean, I think on form, he has every right to be considered to be in that squad. You know, if you look at the form, like, of the players that are there, he's technically in better form than Rashford, Grealish, and Sterling, you know, but we all know that there are different factors than just being on form for international football. So for me, it's not like life or death that Smith-Rowe didn't make the team, especially because the under-21s, they also have games, and I'm sure that they don't want to weaken that squad by bringing up Conor Gallagher and ESR and stuff like that. That's going to hurt them. But my issue is more just the outrage of other people that Arsenal fans feel like he should be in there, as well as Ben White. You can't tell me that Ben White is not better than Connor Cody and Mings. We know that it's about other things. They're culture guys. They're nice guys. You know, they're good for the group. But don't sit here and tell me something that you know is not true. You know, that's what's irritating to me. But we know international football is difficult. You have to have the right group together. You don't want to disrupt things too much. There's nobody in there that got a chance, you know, that's newish to the group. So it's not like I'm looking at somebody else and saying, like, well, why not Smith-Rowe? But he definitely on form has every right to feel like he should be in there. But I also think he's knocking on the door. So, hey, he's like, what, 20 years old? He'll be fine. But yeah, it's a little disappointing.
How about yourself, Lee? I mean, I know you said earlier backstage you'd rather Smith-Rowe not be in the under-21s. Do you kind of understand, though, you know, Southgate, a semi-final and a final in his last two competitions, do you think it's I'm not saying not right for fans to challenge him, but should we just give Southgate a little bit more benefit of the doubt, maybe?
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but then don't come on and say like, our players get picked on performances, because that totally goes out the window. I look at that squad now. I don't know. You can have an argument for Ben White or whatever. Like, probably being Arsenal, I'm going to say that. But Tyrone Mings has just been dropped by Aston Villa. Last game dropped. Now he's in the squad. Rashford, for instance, can't get in the Man United team. There he is playing in the England squad. You can go on and on and on through it. If I'll be honest, Harry Kane, has Harry Kane turned up? You know what I mean? For any sort of game. I'll give it with Harry Kane. He's captain for England, but you don't go around turning around and saying, "Oh, it's all about form" and things like that, and then turn around and dismiss that and bring in other players. On current form, a lot of the England players, I'll be honest, that played in the Euros have not played well. You can go back from the goalkeeper, you can go from centre halves. Luke Shaw was absolutely fantastic in the Euros at left back, probably the best left back in Europe at that stage. Has been poor this time around. So and as for Sterling at Man City, like I don't think he's turned up that much this season. Fantastic in the Euros for England. So I get that you've got to give it a little bit of time for how they're playing you, but some of these players are not even getting 90 minutes now in their team. So if you want to go down that route, look, I've always said it with England. There's favouritism. I say it again. Arsenal won the title in '89 and '91, and not one Arsenal player was in the England squad in 1990. So I do think there's a little bit of favouritism towards it, and again highlighted in that squad, as you see, because if anybody does deserve to be in it, I don't care what anybody says, Smith-Rowe deserves to be in that team at this moment. He's been absolutely outstanding, not just for 2 or 3 games, for the whole season. He's been really, really good. But taking on the point what people are saying, you've got to get above people like Jack Grealish over those sort of guys at the moment. But then I look at it and I will argue, if you're going to go up there, Rashford or Smith-Rowe, there's only one winner.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, Daniel, you're sitting there, a little smile on your face. Like, what's your take on it? No. I'm not, maybe not so much with what Lee's saying, but in terms of, do you understand why? I mean, I'll put it this way. I remember for years hearing England fans say we're not like other nations, and I've heard other nations talk about how they want to create a club football culture internationally, which means barring exceptional form, they want to keep a core group together for the majority of their camps, so that they can create some cohesion. If you're literally picking on form every 6 weeks, you could have almost a different 23 each time, and you're not going to create the cohesion. Like, how do you think Gareth Southgate's getting the balance wrong in that, or do you think he's spot on?
Personally, I would try to incorporate a bit of form into the squad, in every squad. I think that's always something good to do, integrate someone new into the squad. After having a bit more time to digest the squad, I don't think it was very easy to just pick out certain names and just be like, yeah, cool, this guy should not be there, because then I could just do the same thing about form and say Loftus-Cheek should be in over James Ward-Prowse, for example, or Trevor Chalobah, who's been outstanding as well for the whole season, should be in the squad too. So I won't look at it like that. I said, when people ask me, do I think Trevor Chalobah should be in the squad? I said, I think there needs to be a bit of longevity. It needs to be longer than just a nice 6-month start to the season. I think the same goes for Smith-Rowe. I think Smith-Rowe is a baller. I rate him highly. I do think he's knocking on the door. I don't think he's ready to. In fact, everyone's ready, but I just don't think it's the right time in it. He needs to show that he's doing it for a longer period than just a little start to the season, which I believe has only been 10 games. But he's definitely knocking on the door. So I think people just need to relax a bit. But there is a middle ground, and there are players that should not be in that squad. I don't think anyone, for example, if we're really going to talk about centre-backs, and obviously I understand Ben White as well. I think Ben White is knocking on the door. And Ben White was actually, he went to the Euros. He was cover for someone else. So he's in and around the squad as well. But, I mean, Tomori's better than Connor Cody. He's better than, in my opinion, I'm taking Tomori over Stones. Tomori's put in a body of work at Chelsea before he got injured. He was Chelsea's main centre-back under Frank Lampard. And then at AC Milan, it's not spoken about enough. He actually displaced Romagnoli who was one of the leading centre-backs in Europe. He was the captain of AC Milan at the time as well. And he's displaced him, and he's now a mainstay in the AC Milan team. It was a bit like what happened with Jadon Sancho. Despite the exceptional form at Borussia Dortmund, players that go abroad aren't really looked in the same light as the players playing in England. Maybe it comes down to an integration thing where he wants a set squad. I'm not really sure about that. But at the end of the day, I do think Tomori deserves to be in the squad over a number of players. Stones has only played 2 games this season. And it's no disrespect to Stones, but he hasn't played enough games. And I think he was a bit shaky in his last game. You look at Maguire, of course. He's literally been the subject of so much scrutiny. And I just think, when are these guys going to get the chance if they can't get the chance when the players that are relied upon aren't playing well? Because eventually, we're predicting, surely, Maguire will get better than what he is right now. Surely Stones will get a run of games where he'll get back into form and he'll look like the England centre-back that he's been when they were at the Euros especially. So, yeah, for me, it's about picking your moments, Gareth, innit? And trying to integrate as much people as possible. Because we've got so much talent, so there's no point in losing out on that talent. It's a bit like the tweet Ian Wright said. He said it happened to him so many times. He came through in a time where there were so many talented strikers and he felt like he never got the chance that he deserved. So I just think integration is key and not trying to make it an exclusive club. Try and integrate maybe 2 names every so often. We play flipping Kazakhstan and Armenia every other session. So why not integrate?
You on that? How about yourself, James? I mean, welcome to the show, by the way. I mean, I know generally as a Scouser, you don't really care about England so much. Generally,
you know
generally,
what I mean? Like, I understand if my opinion isn't respected as a Scouser, but I'll still give you it because you asked, Terry. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know what? Do you know what it is with England? Like, what are we asking about, Smith-Rowe, or are we just talking about our situation in England and what we should
more
do?
like, do you feel like Southgate's got it wrong, or do you think he's overlooked too many players that are currently in form in the Prem right now?
England are the national side, Manchester United. So we've got the quality, but I don't think we possess the coach that has the... And it's easy to say, oh, we got to a Euro final, and that's great. And that is great, don't get me wrong. But it's like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got seconds, but context is everything. And when I look at a coach, I like to see how do they play. Do they have a style of play? So when people compare, let's say, Steven Gerrard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not really a good comparison because Rangers have a style of play, and even though it's in the Scottish League, they have a style of play, so they know what they need to do. Whereas Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in his whole managerial career, not just at Manchester United, you've never known what that is, and I see that with Gareth Southgate as well. Of course, he goes very defensive, that's his style of play, but there's no proper cohesion in that side, in my opinion. He doesn't know who his best players are, so he doesn't know that Sancho and Grealish, if you play them together, you're getting absolute wonders, because they're just footballers. When you think about link-up play, which is very effective in today's game, there are 2 players that can just do that, and then you'll have the pace of Sterling as well. That's the thing, like, even in the Euros, I didn't want Sterling. Gareth Southgate kept starting him, but, like, that worked, and that's great, because players are good at different things, and that's sound, but I just think, can England get a better manager? Most certainly. And do I think this manager knows how to use the great squad that we've got? Because we've got a great squad. Let's not beat around the bush, mate. Top-class players all around the field. Even at centre-back, Tomori is also someone that I rate very, very highly. John Stones on top of that. Don't forget about Joe Gomez, who can be there and thereabouts as well, even though he hasn't been playing, but we know he's decent. So it's like, it's just about knowing, and I don't think he knows.
Yeah, I agree with that. I look at it as actually a positive problem in the sense of there's so much talent. We're arguing about, and it's interesting because Raheem Sterling's a prime example, awful for City, but I understand why he's playing because his goal scoring record in the last year for England has been amazing. So there is no reason to drop him from an England point of view. It doesn't matter how bad he is for City, he's amazing for England. So you kind of keep him in the team. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't think we've got particularly hard games. We'll win them, and everybody will probably be feeling relaxed after that. The one good thing I'd say about the likes, players are not getting in the team is at least they get a rest. From a club point of view, it's not always a negative when your players aren't having to go away and play an extra game internationally. JP here says the secret phrase, is it trust the process? No, the secret phrase is not trust. Nobody's guessed it. I didn't put all the super chats up, but none of you have got it right yet. Keep those guesses coming in if you want to win that Xbox. Somebody will get it right. Someone got the last one. It's not even that hard. When you find out what it is in that envelope, you're going to shoot yourself. You're going to kick yourselves. Conor Gallagher should have been picked. He's been superb. Mings shouldn't be touching the squad. other than that, I am pretty happy with it, is what Grey Wolf's Dinner has got to say. Well, look, that's our take on it, ladies and gentlemen. We want to know what you feel about the England squad. Make sure that like button's been smashed. We're closing in on sort of the 200 mark right now, which is always amazing. Thank you very much.
Terry, you're going to need subtitles for me on this. Everyone in the chat doesn't understand me, bro.
They're trolling you, bro. They definitely do. It's that joke in it for every Scouser.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, I can change accents, bro. I can change them. So light work in it. You know what I'm saying? We'll just do that. It's cool, man.
Put on a roadman London accent, and then suddenly everyone gets you. It's
easy.
Go for it. I think Jess does struggle with this Scouse accent. To be fair, don't you, Jess?
Fair enough.
Carragher, mostly. Just
if you can understand 80% what I say, you're doing marvellous, Jess. Don't you worry.
There we go. Next up, we are previewing in about 10 minutes. We're going to preview the Manchester derby. Before that, though, I do want to talk a little bit about the Champions League and who is going to win it. Who do people think their favourites are? Smash the like and share button. Let's do this. James, I'm going to come to you first on this one because I saw your fan cam last night. I saw your fan cam.
It was boss, really. How heavy was that fan cam, Teddy?
It was very good. It was very good. Very, very good. I'm doing it over on Big Up Cop TV with Alex Gilroy Trot over there. And you're talking about number 7 coming. Is that feeling starting to circulate around Anfield? Do you feel like number 7 is on its way?
Oh, Teddy, it does, you know. I'm not going to lie to you. There's just something about that competition and something about Anfield, you know. When you talk about 2 legs, when you talk about European royalty, we're in that conversation, you know. I made a joke that we're the most prestige European team of all time. Obviously, we're not because we haven't won the most trophies and stuff. That being said, we are boss, and I just think, you know, we've got through the group stage flying colours, piece of piss, and then we are going to go into now 2-legged matches, which notoriously we've done fairly well at. Even when we got knocked out by Atletico Madrid last time, we were still dominating them in the game. We just made mistakes that led us to getting knocked out, but you hear all the players, the ex-players, the ex-managers, even Sir Alex Ferguson said it, Anfield, Arsene Wenger, these people have said Anfield is the toughest place to go, and I don't know what it is, but there is just something special about it with a full set of fans, and I think that's why we've always got the advantage. Not to mention we've got, in my opinion, the best manager in the world in Jurgen Norbert Klopp. Not to mention we've got world-class players from goalkeeper to striker. But just everything, the cohesion of the club right now is perfect, and one thing I said in that fan camp was that we need to enjoy this while it lasts as Liverpool fans, because I don't know if everything is going to be so perfect. And I know we're not winning as many trophies as a Man City, let's say, so people might think my expectations aren't high enough, but I know we don't have the spending power that they do, and you know, certain things, Klopp doesn't have as many advantages to take, so he needs to make do with what he's got, and what he's doing with what he's got and the money that he spent is fantastic, to say the least. So all them reasons and more, we're going to get number 7 this season, the boys and girls.
That's an interesting take. How about Daniel? I know you're very confident in Chelsea going back-to-back this year. Very hard to break down, not conceding goals. Where's your head at right now? Do you think Liverpool are going to do it? They've looked scintillating. They've qualified through the group of death within 4 games. What's your take, Dan?
I think they did well to get out of their group with flying colours, as James had said correctly. So, especially considering, obviously, everyone thought that was one of the toughest groups, if not the toughest group. But I do have a feeling that the thing about Liverpool is that it's always about an aura with them. And the year they won the Champions League, they had that aura about them. The year they won the Premier League, they had that aura about them. There is just something in me that just thinks that maybe they don't necessarily have that as much. And obviously, they are definitely there or thereabouts in terms of my favourites. But I think my number 1 favourites are Bayern, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, you might look at the competition and say Liverpool have played harder teams, but 17 goals, 2 goals conceded, no losses in their group stage. They've really flown through and made it easy, rested Muller as well in certain games. And one thing about Bayern is that they've always been a very strong first. They've always had a very strong first 11. But now I think with the signing of Sabitzer, you look at their bench and they've got depth. They've got players they can bring on from the bench to change games. In terms of Chelsea, I think we're always there or thereabouts. Chelsea will never be the number one single most favorite. Even if we win the Champions League again, next year we won't be the favourites. Like, we're never the favourites. But with the way that Tuchel set us up, we are definitely there or thereabouts. Personally, for me, I think we can beat anyone over 2 legs, apart from I'm nervous about Bayern. Bayern are the team who scare me. If there was a team I wanted to avoid in the next round, it would be Bayern. But any other team, obviously later on, when we get later into the rounds, hopefully English teams, no one fears me over 2 legs, I'll be honest, because I believe we've got the most informed manager in the world right now in Thomas Tuchel, where all his tactical decisions are working for him. And I think we've got players who are playing at an exceptional standard. And when you have players, quality players playing at an exceptional standard, anything's possible, as we saw last year. So, yeah.
I hear that. Like, you see there the odds with Bet Victor, 6-1 for Liverpool, 8-1 for Chelsea. The favourites out of all the English clubs is Man City, Lewis. And they are a team where, when I look at the media talking about who's going to win it, often overlooked in some regards. Like, how do you feel looking at your team this year in relation to picking up your first ever Champions League?
Yeah, I mean, we can go for it, you know what I mean? We can do it, but Pep's just got to not screw up the team, innit? In the big decisions, because that's what he has done in Champions League matches. You know, he did it against Chelsea, he's done it in, Lyon and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what happens to him in these big games, but, well, I do know what happens to him in these big games. He makes big decisions, but unfortunately, they've not really worked, you know what I mean? So I think City have got a great chance. We always have a great chance, James said he thinks he's got the best manager. I think we've got the best manager, and I don't think we'll ever agree on that. But we've got a great squad, and we've got a great chance of winning it. I just don't see it leaving England, mate. I really don't. I just think European football is so trash nowadays. Like, yeah, okay, Bayern are all right, but I still think they're maybe a couple of years away, and I just can't look past these teams at the bottom of the screen. City 10-3, Liverpool 6-1, and Chelsea 8-1. I just think it's just. I think it's going to stay in England, mate. I really do.
I mean, that's a fair point, Jess. From your point of view, obviously, no dog in the fight, as it were. But do you feel as though it's? No, that's not a dig. My club's in it, and we ain't got a dog in the fight. Like, we ain't got a dog in the fight. United have got no chance. But when you look at it, do you think it's going to stay in England, or because Bayern Munich right now for me seem like they're legitimately the only team outside of England that can win it? PSG look weak with Mauricio Pochettino. None of the Spanish clubs are winning it. No one else other in Germany can win it. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, do you think it's coming back to England 2 years on the bounce?
I mean, there's a really good, opportunity that it does. I can't really look past the strength of Man City. Liverpool look like they're on form. Chelsea are really difficult to beat. I don't think you can count Bayern out. I think one thing about Bayern that they have, and really what kept them from going a lot further in the competition last season, wasn't that they were playing poorly. It was because Lewandowski got injured and they couldn't get past PSG because of it. Lewandowski is on amazing form right now, and for me, I think he should be up there for Ballon d'Or. When you have a player like that, plus the mentality monsters that they have in their team, like Kimmich and some of the other players that they have, I just think you can't look past them. So for me, those are kind of the teams that you're looking at. Man City has to win it, so they have to dig deep and figure out a way to win this competition. Like, it's time that Pep gets this under his belt, but he does tend to overthink. So that's kind of at the forefront of my mind. And then we already know that having some issues scoring. Liverpool not keeping goals out, but still amazing form attacking wise. But for me, if I had to put it to just a top 2, I would say Bayern and Chelsea. I just feel those are the 2 teams that I feel like have the best chance, and then City and Liverpool right beneath them too. But Don't count Bayern out just yet. As long as Lewandowski is fit, they still have a really good chance.
Yeah, I know why you think Chelsea. Like, we've had this conversation on a few streams. They're not conceding goals, and when you're not conceding goals, especially in cup competitions, that gives you a massive chance. How about yourself, Lee? I mean, we're getting to that point now where the last couple of group games tend not to mean so much, not for the big English teams or the successful English teams anyway. We discount United. We're probably going to go out. Do you think it's coming back to England, or do you see a shot coming from somewhere else across the continent?
Well, I'm going to say I'm a bit disappointed in PSG at the moment. I've watched them a couple of times and I've been well disappointed with them. I think it'll come out of the two teams in England, and that being Chelsea and Liverpool. Unless Manchester City go and buy a striker in the January transfer window.
It's rightly.
Because I don't think that they've got the tools at this minute to break down the top teams and then score enough goals. That's my opinion. But I have to say, I don't like to agree with it, but I think Liverpool. There's something about Liverpool at the moment that I'm impressed with. I like the way that they're playing. They have got the best manager as far as I'm concerned, and he proved that yesterday. Simone does it every time for against other teams, but Klopp learnt his lesson and he made sure that weren't going to happen again this time around. So, and Liverpool have got that about them now. They've got their players fit, and in fact, front three fire. And also, I've got to say, bringing in Jota as well has been a real a good thing, because now they can rest one or two. You're not absolutely reliant on just those three now, So I'm impressed with Liverpool. If there is a team in the Premier League I fear at this moment is Liverpool, because I think that they can destroy teams. But with Chelsea, I think that Chelsea have got that power and that strength. They've got the know-how now. So I think it'll come from one of those two teams.
Sorry, can I point out quickly? I think obviously people have forgotten that we also faced Atletico Madrid last season, and we dismantled them too. We kept clean sheets in both games. To point, it's just a little cheeky point out there as well.
Big man tick, come on, bruv. You beat them in it. You won the Champions League winners.
Yeah, man, we got the big years.
Lad, you boast.
No, for sure. So obviously, I understand why you might think that Klopp is the best, but I do genuinely believe that Tuchel's showing why he's the best right now, top of the league. Obviously, we've still got
you can present top of the league. I present to you we're the only undefeated team in all competitions, by the way.
Yeah, but undefeated.
That's a phenomenal achievement.
Of course it is.
Wait, don't knock undefeated, please. Don't knock it.
I understand.
Yeah, Arsenal undefeated since the first international break, killing it, man.
Exactly.
Killing it.
Exactly. So let's just call it for what it is. I mean, you have to remember, undefeated only means something if you're first. At the end of the day, you can still go undefeated the whole season. That's a good point. If we go undefeated from now as well, like yourselves, and we come first, it might be one of the biggest embarrassments, and it might be spun the other way. So you want to be first if you're undefeated.
No one fancy Man United to sneak the Champions League.
All right, Terry, let's not talk nonsense. We're here to talk about some proper football. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Europa League, maybe. Do you know what I'm saying? But you've got Ronaldo, don't you? So he'll keep this in there. Quarterfinals.
Maybe. Well, yeah, but the worst bit is, imagine, this is the worst bit, the squad we've got, and we're in the Champions League, and there is zero hope of winning it. It's just mad. But there we go. In terms of our odds with our partners today, Bet Victor, I just want to share this on the screen, because Man City are currently considered to be the favourites. Man City are the favourites. They're at 10-3, the outright favourites to win it. Bayern second. PSG is still third, 5-1. You've convinced me, though, James. You've convinced me. About Liverpool, right? And I find Liverpool in here at 6-1. That's pretty good odds for Liverpool, the form they're in, right? So I'm going to do on the show now, only a little, because we only do little bets on here just because we like to keep it nice and responsible. £3.50 bet on Liverpool. You convinced me that they are going to win their 7th Champions League. Viewers, the link for this page, if you fancy having a little flutter, if you've changed your mind from the beginning of the season, is in our description below. You can sign up to your free Bet Victor account now. Bet £5, get a £30 free bet if you're a new customer. If you're existing and you top up your account, check out their loyalty page. There's lots of different offers in there that you can take a look at as well. But I'm going to put that bet on. That's done. That's locked in. Liverpool to win the Champions League, courtesy of man like James Redman.
Yeah, you're going in that money, son. Hey, I think Sheriff could beat Manchester United if you played them, Do you know, in the round of 16? No, I'm deadly serious there, boss. I've seen the way they play.
Listen, we got beat by young boys, so anybody in the Champions League can beat us. It's
Sheriff has come to town.
It's awful. There's a super chat I missed here from Maria Williams. Is the phrase clutch moments? No, the secret phrase isn't clutch moments. We are going to move on to the Manchester derby. next. But I do want to speak to some of our new viewers tonight about the competition we're currently running on the Football Terrace. So this little golden envelope behind me, I am going to order a bigger one so it looks a little bit more spectacular. But there is a phrase in there, a football phrase that we've all used at some point. The media use it a lot. If you put a super chat in, that could be to guess it. It could be to ask a question to the panel, and you guess the phrase right. We are giving away a brand new Xbox with a couple of control pads so you can play with your friends and a game of your choice. So we have a lot of super chatters on the terrace, which we're always very humbled by, but we want to try and give you the opportunity to win something back. So I've had lots of guesses tonight. There is a clue that's out, and the clue is it's not something that happens straight away. And every week we'll give you a new clue. Remember, every 2 weeks we add a prize to it. We decided to add a pair of Nike boots, whatever the ones that Ronaldo wears are. Some are called, they're called Vapors or Vipers or something. I don't know. Right? They've been added to the prize pool next week. So get your super chats in and guess that word. And we'll know. Anyone fancy a little guess in the panel tonight what I think the secret phrase is? Anyone fancy a little guess? Jess had about 20 last night and couldn't get it right.
What did you say the clue was?
It doesn't happen straight away.
Oh, you've got to tell me what the question was. I just eat for a second and I want to guess this.
There's a secret football phrase. It could be the last one someone got right was in his pocket. So it's sort of something you would say in football. Yeah.
Man on. Nah, I don't know, lad, to be honest with you.
It's not bad. It's something like that. It's like Maria Williams guessing with winning mentality. It's not winning mentality, but it's a decent guess because you don't get that straight away. Well, generally, not unless you're Chelsea. Go on, Dan, have a little guess.
More than you believe. More than you believe.
More than you believe.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, it isn't. That's not bad. Comment here about Daniel says, I love how Daniel gets rattled when someone praises Liverpool and doesn't talk about Chelsea. Lol. I know, that little bit. VAR is a secret phrase. No, Rich, it is not the secret phrase, but a very good guess there, my friend. All right, up next, the Manchester Derby. We're going to be previewing it. Let's get this stream past 500 likes while we're live on the air. Let's do it, Rich. Manchester United versus Man City, the Manchester Derby. I'm going to start with Lewis straight away on this. Are you licking your lips at the prospect of absolutely annihilating and embarrassing Man United once again?
I mean, the thing is, right, one thing that has disappointed me, with City and on Ollie, is that we've not proper smacked these for 6. You know what I mean? Like, we played them in a Carabao game a few years ago, and we dominated them for the first 45. I think we were 3-0 up or something. It was majestic football. And then second half, we took the foot off the gas, which City typically do when we go a couple goals up. And then the second half, we ended up conceding one and just sort of chilled and saw out the game. But this coach, Ollie, who's, in my opinion, I think this guy's a fraudulent manager. I can't believe he's got the job at United. Liverpool did a good job of getting 5 past them, but to be honest, they left some on the table, Liverpool. They could have put 6, 7, 8 past United, and I feel that if City are at the game on Saturday, I feel like we could put 6, 7 past these guys, and it's about time someone does it to him, because to be honest, Ollie's disrespecting the club by even still being there, man, and it's time for the guy to leave, in my opinion, and City can put the nail in the coffin. So yeah, man, let's go for it.
I hear you on that. I mean, Liverpool destroyed us and embarrassed us, and we all thought that would be the end of Ollie, and he managed to survive it. Lee, from your point of view, I mean, can you see anything other than a mauling, or maybe is there a shock result in there for Man United?
There's always a chance for a shock. I think that is it right? They've not been beaten by Man City for a few games now, So listen, well, Man United. I'll be honest with you. If Man United in this moment are, I would say, balling on like they may not get to the top 4. But if they went and got, say, like Conte would have been their manager, you're sort of guaranteeing that they're going to get top 4. What I'm looking at it now is they've still got a chance. Why they've got a certain Ronaldo in their side, they've always got a chance. They were poor the other night, and he brings, he wins not wins the game for them, but gets them out of jail. He didn't do it against Liverpool because Liverpool are a different class side, so he's going to struggle a little bit. Manchester City, I think, like on this sort of, I don't know, like Man City are a funny side. If they had a striker, I'd say they'd win the league easily, but they haven't. But they went to Chelsea, and I thought they was outstanding. So it depends if City turn up and take their chances. They're more than capable of beating Man United. But the one thing is, Man United do have some decent players. I don't think you can mock them that much. They've got good forwards. They've got, you know, the goal that they scored against Spurs last week with Cavani was sensational. To see that goal, you know, from a neutral's point of view, well, not neutral because it was against Spurs, but it was still nice. They've got players to do it, like, you know, and it just, if Manchester City, you know, they played Spurs off the park but couldn't take their chances. So I'm not convinced with City until they get a striker. So until they do, Man United have got a chance, and I wouldn't be surprised if United get something out of this game. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think they could possibly get a draw. Now,
mate, I hear you on that. There's a comment here from O'Neill that says, Terry, you're lowering expectations to make yourself feel better. So again, I should have the expectations that we could do something against City after where we're playing. Come on. If I said that, you'd say I was deluded and burying my head in the sand. But nice try, O'Neill. Daniel, I want to ask you, bruv, what's going to happen Saturday, 12:30, Manchester derby? Talk us through it.
I don't know, you know, like, obviously it's easy to just say City will batter you, and I fully understand that. But at least if there's one game that Oli actually knows how to set up his team for, it's Man City. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I guess he could possibly do what he did again and set up his team. But I mean, you remember what I said? I said in the preview, if Man United try and go toe-to-toe with Liverpool, they would lose. And I think it was Aaron who told me that, no, we do have to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. And look what happened. So it's the same thing with Man City. If you try to pass Man City off the park and try and go toe-to-toe with Man City, you will lose as well. And you'll lose badly. You have to sit back, soak up the pressure. One thing Man United do have, whether you think it's Oli coaching it or the players just implement it on the pitch, they're one of the best counter-attacking sides in the league, if not in Europe. They've got great players who can counter-attack. Rashford, Bruno, Ronaldo, I don't know whoever plays. You've got players who can counter-attack at an effective enough level. So you've got to set up in that way. I'm praying you do something. I don't want you to get smacked again. Like, you have to be honest that every rival fan wants Oli to be in the job. We know that he's just doing the bare minimum for you.
Daniel, all we need is a 2-1 loss. 2-1 loss, the Glazers will be sound.
2-1 loss and we're fine. A 1-0 loss.
But like, honestly, like, even if they lose, but it's 1-0, 2-1,
Yeah.
we're custy. We're having a party, Daniel, baby. You hear what I'm saying? And yes, we're all going to a gaff, mate. Swear to God.
Coming back in here, yeah, saying, like,
5-0 weren't even enough.
Close. Like, you did well. Like, you put in the effort.
High fives and all that
That's the
business.
thing.
I hear you, man.
Back 5-0 and he's still there. Like, anything close, a draw, one goal, you know, it's fine. And personally for me, knowing Pep, like, the way that he's going to do it is they're going to go up early and probably score 2 goals. Just like, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, the City fan in the corner. Just like you said, they'll take their foot off the gas, you know, and then you guys will come back into it later on in the game. Why didn't they play like this from the beginning? Because Man City has taken their foot off of the gas. They'll score a goal, all of that, and then it'll be over. Like, I think that's exactly how it's going to go. Literally. 2-1.
The key is more than anything, even if you want to talk about how Conte would have been so much of a better manager, despite the fears about style of play and whatnot. I think the United board also missed the trick, because if you're really talking about money and how much you can really exploit from hiring Conte, I think it brings the feel-good factor. It's like you've got an elite manager, you get what you want, and I've heard a lot of Man United fans say what you have been saying, Terry, that we just want a manager who's in his prime, just someone who's literally in his pomp and can come in and show what he's able to do with this squad. Like, because for me, personally, I want Oli to go when Ronaldo's like 38, your guys are literally just over the hill, and you've literally missed out on your prime. Like Pogba, for example, he could leave at the end of the year. This would have been a great time to see if Conte could use Pogba and maybe get him even to sign because of the football that you're playing. I want everything to just go over the hill, and then you can get whoever the hell you want.
You know what's mad for me, right? I can actually take... It's mad. Do you know what it is? And I'm laughing because at the same time, it's like, it's the only thing I can do is laugh. For years, I spoke about how bad our owners are. And I know that everyone's... laughs at Ollie, jeers at how bad structured we are, but you're laughing at the very out. Ollie isn't good enough and we know it. But a proper run club would have recognised it a while ago. But at the very least, after getting slapped 5-0 by your greatest ever rivals, is you take him out and you bring somebody else in that for at least until it doesn't work, puts a little bit of fear back amongst your rivals again. We're being laughed at, not because Ollie's still here as in him, it's because they're allowing him to still be here. And I'm not even, I'm a bit, I agree with you 100%, James. If we lose, I'm going to say this now. I don't care if I get clicked up. The top Reds have been in my DMs 2 weeks now, threatening to beat me up. Told you, I've given you the location where I'm in Manchester in 2 weeks. I'm at my old MMA gym. You want to come down here and chat to us? Me and my old coach. We're willing to have a talk. We're willing to have a talk with you. We're willing to have a little chat, shinbone to shinbone. We're willing to have a chat with you. Come check out us in Stockport. I'll DM you the link. Big up Jason.
He's going to roundhouse your ass, motherfuckers.
No, it's funny. I said it to my old coach, and he's like, if they want to come here and have a chat, we'll do it here. We're not going to the pub. I was like, yeah, Jay, it's cool. We're like, we'll it's not going to happen anyway. But the point I'm making is, like, I'd rather be slapped 6-7-0 than lose 2-1. I agree. Because at least then there is a hope, a small hope that they're going to get rid of him under the embarrassment. They would accept a narrow defeat. Their view would be, we lost the 3 points, but goal difference wasn't badly damaged. And that's basically saving ourselves a point. That would be their weird logic at board level. It's just painful. I'm in so much pain right now. To see Arsenal fans laughing at us where they are as a club, that shows how bad it is. Like, and I don't even mean it rudely. You're on the way up, but like Arsenal finishing 8th 2 years running shouldn't be able to laugh at Man United, but they're in a position to be able to. And that's on my owners. And it's so frustrating, painful, and annoying to see. It's unbelievable. And I wouldn't even write off a Man United win. Like, it would be typical Ollie. No, I mean, you laugh, but it wouldn't. If we nick the game 1-0 on the counter, no one would be going, I'm 100% completely shocked.
But Terry, that's not going to happen, my mate. Nah, but it's not going to happen. Like, with all due respect. Nah, because you've saw the way Harry Maguire's been playing, and he's going to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's going to play. That's a guarantee.
I hear you.
Like, there's three guarantees in life. You're born, you pay your taxes, you die, and then the fourth thing is that Harry Maguire is going to to that game. Which
honestly,
is
Man United cannot afford to get stuffed in this game after getting stuffed to their fiercest rivals in Liverpool and then getting stuffed by their local rivals, Man City. They just can't afford to. And if it does happen, it will be goodbye, Ollie. There's no two ways about it, like, you know. So come on, United, get a draw.
I disagree, you know. Honestly, I think they could lose that game 2-1, 3-1, and they'll be custy. Like, you've missed out on Conte.
They can't lose 5-0, though, surely, James. They can't lose 5-0.
But not 5-0. They within a 2-goal margin. Within a 2-goal margin.
But I wouldn't write off 5-1. I'm just saying. We've got to go. We'll find a positive somewhere.
You know how Pep likes to play it. 2-0 early, take the foot off of the gas, relax. Because that's what Arteta tries to do, but we're just not sophisticated enough to pull it off. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Terry, I do have a question, though, for Lewis in terms of, like, the bigger picture, though. Because, obviously, when the season started, we spoke about how Man City are under serious pressure to win the Champions League. Like, that was one of the big things that we spoke about. And, obviously, now you lot didn't get a striker and whatnot. So, in your opinion, like, especially considering Pep's... Obviously, he's come out and said that he isn't leaving at the end of next season, but I see him doing that because he does take breaks and things like that. So, in your opinion, do you think you'll win in the Champions League before Pep leaves? And will it be this season?
Well, I bloody like to think so, to be honest, mate. You know what I mean? The amount of money we've spent on that. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The Premier, you go into every season thinking you want to win the Prem or the Champions League. And if you get lucky, win them both. So long as you're winning one of them every year, you're always going to be happy, innit? So I'm not really fussed which one we win. It's just go for both of them and just see where you end up, you know what I mean? And we've had the luck of winning some Carabaos and FA Cups along the way as well, just to boost it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm pretty calm going into this game. I was just thinking, actually, because getting smacked 5-0 off Liverpool was pretty embarrassing. And you would have thought that they would have sacked him then and there, but obviously, they did have Spurs coming up. I know they were in good form, but they're still a good side. They had Atalanta in the Champions League, which was, you know, they couldn't lose that game. And then they got City. So, do you not think that maybe they're just playing like a little bit of a waiting game? Because if they sack him after the City game, they've got the international break. They've got a little bit of time to find a new manager, get him in. Because the last thing you want to do is sack Ollie, yeah, and then bring in a manager for the Spurs game and the City game, who you could theoretically lose both of them games, and then straight away the new manager's under pressure, or alternatively sack Ollie and end up in a situation like Newcastle where no one wants to join until these 2 games are done, and then everyone's just like, why'd you sack him? And you know what I mean? So I think that maybe the board are just sort of like waiting for this City game to finish, and then they might pull the trigger, man. Because there's no way that this guy can continue, especially if we thump United. There's no way he can continue. He can't get beat off Liverpool 5-0 at home and then get beat off City. And, you know, if we do thump him, there's no way you can keep your job there. There's no 100%. Way.
100%.
That's the hope. That is the hope. Anything is possible with our owners. And again, I try not to think. The worst bit about it is I can't think positively about my club. What you've said is right. There was a lot of early reports. If you actually go back to when Jose Mourinho was sacked, a lot of the reports at the time were literally the Liverpool game was the last of a little bit of a difficult run. Our next 5 games after that were like Huddersfield, Newcastle, Cardiff level teams, and it was almost like this is the perfect time to bring somebody in new because they're very winnable games. Even for Jose, they were very winnable. When new manager bounce, we might go off on a good run. And a lot of the rumours were when Liverpool beat us, they wanted to get through these 3 games and then go for somebody new. The problem is who. Like that's the fit. You know, people keep talking Zidane. I don't see it happening. Luis Enrique is not leaving Spain. I've heard Valverde wants to come out of retirement. I don't personally know how good he is or wants to go back to coaching. And then you're hearing names like Brendan Rodgers. Well, he bottled it at Liverpool. So why do I want him? Like legit,
calm down on Brendan. He's a good coach. He won an FA Cup with Leicester.
He's not good enough. He isn't good enough.
He will put you in the title charge. I can tell you that. He put you in the title race with your squad. He'll give you a system and he'd know how to use good players.
We'll
so
play
best
better
believe
football.
you'll be in a title race, which is what you need to be in, Terry.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think, for me, I think you need a manager, and this is what's hard. I think you need a manager that we know can handle managing a club that has to win, where a draw is blown up into being a bad result. Losing 2 on the bounce is a crisis at Man United. It is at Liverpool now. It is at Chelsea. It is at City. Can Brendan Rodgers handle that? I don't know, but it's going to be an interesting one. Viewers, what do you think is going to happen to Man United this weekend? Will City smash them? Will it be a narrow win for City? Can you see a shock result? Get your score predictions in. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. We've had a few more guesses of what the secret phrase is. None of them have been right. We've had net spend is not real. It isn't real. And no, that isn't the secret phrase. Is it lost the dressing room? That's a great guess, but it isn't lost the dressing room. But it's kind of on the right track. So maybe that's another little clue there for you. Is the phrase winning the league? That's another great guess, but it isn't winning the league. The other guesses aren't where it is either. But Sam here says 5-0 wasn't that bad. It was the mercy that Liverpool showed United. Ultimate disrespect. The Glazers let that slide.
We should have put you 6 feet under in that game. We should have made it 10-0 and made it the biggest damn Premier League score that you've ever seen, ever. What you've done to Southampton, we should have done that to you, and I'm devastated we never. But I understand kind of why we did as well.
Yeah, I want. No, mate, I agree. I want to ask Lewis a question about City. Just forget this game for a minute. Look at the bigger picture. Do you think you need a striker in January to catch up with Liverpool and Chelsea that are now 2 and 5 points ahead of you respectively?
At this moment in time, no. But obviously we'll have to assess the situation, in 2 months' time and see where we're at. I would also say the last thing that City are going to do is panic buy. You know what I mean? We're not just going to go out in the market and panic buy. And I think the fact that the summer proves that. We went after Kane all summer. He was our only target. We didn't get him, and then that was it. You know what I mean? We didn't get anyone else, and they have the target. They'll go for one. There obviously rumours now. A lot of rumours about Haaland. That's going to cost you a lot of money, and obviously he's injured as well. So, is he going to be fit for the January transfer? And I'm not sure. So, yeah, I just don't think that's a typical City thing to do. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Who is there out there as well? We've done videos on our channel, and we're like looking at potential strikers, mate, and the good ones are at a premium now. They really are.
They are, but what I'd say is this though. I know for a fact that you bid £120 million for Harry Kane. You put that money in. I met someone yesterday. I can't tell the full story. I'll tell you guys backstage afterwards what went on. I'm not allowed to say it on camera. But if you're willing to pay that much for Kane, you could theoretically buy anyone in the world you want. Most clubs are going to accept that kind of money.
Yeah,
He went and
you
did
are
it.
right. You are right. But who would you go for now? Because I'm not being funny. You're not going to bid £120 million now for Kane, are you? Because he just looks like a shadow of his former self. So the only players you
No,
can
it's
go
not
for
that.
is like Haaland, mate. Lewandowski is getting on way too much. So it's basically Haaland or bust, and the rest of them, they're all proper young, like 21, 22, and it's big pressure. I only see now as a real option is Haaland, or we go back in for Kane, but I don't think we're going to go back in for Kane, and I don't think Haaland, the size of this deal is going to be so big. I don't see that deal going through in January. I think that's more likely to be a summer transfer. So the answer to your question is no, I don't think we're going to sign a striker in January. And yeah, you know what, Terry, you might look back at the end of the season and go, you know what, had you signed a striker in January, you might have won the league, but I think that's just going to be the way it is. I just don't see us signing a striker in January, not at all.
There we go. We've got some more super chats here. RDX says, is it time to go? Big up, man like Claude, but it isn't. He's very, very famous phrase. Is the phrase fraud watch? Great guess, but it isn't. Lang and Sweet here, our resident City fan, one of them that watches our show regularly. Where's that comment gone? There it is. It says, hopefully Man City can beat Man United, but Pep versus Oli doesn't end well for City. Not very confident. Probably a 2-1 Man United win is what Lang and Sweet's got to say there. Phrase, it takes time. No. Manager sacked. That isn't the phrase. Is the phrase down tools? No, but that's on the right tracks as well. So that's a really good guess, my friend. The phrase is glaze it out. No. Did I hear Valverde? Yeah, go for him, Terry. You won't be disappointed. You'll get slapped 4-0 by Liverpool, not 5 this time. Thank you very, very much. Well, I'm getting his bantered here. City should get Vlahovic. I think is it Vlahovic?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, is the game. 3 games to save his job. That isn't the phrase either, but really good guesses. None of the other phrases are right either, but keep your guesses coming in. I do want to take a look at this, though. So we have a Football Terrace special available to our viewers via BetVictor. The link is pinned to our live comments and in our chat description below. And you can see it here. It's Man United City. 4-1 boosted odds you've been given on this. On Man City to win, both teams to score, and for there to be over 3.5 goals in the game. That's my call for this game. I can't look beyond City with the way we're playing. You know, the only reason we look good against Tottenham is because they were even worse than we are. I'm going to stick a £10 stake on that myself at 4-1. Essentially, all that needs to happen in that game for that bet to come in my opinion, is Man United to score a goal. And as long as we do that, I think I'm going to make myself a nice little £50 winnings there. But you can put that bet on as well if you fancy it. It's the Football Terrace special, exclusive to BetVictor. The links are all down below. That bet is now on. That's been placed successfully. Up next on the show, I want to take a look at some of the other Premier League games this weekend. First of all, West Ham versus Liverpool. It's the final game before the international break. Could the Hammers cause an upset? Let's get this stream past 500 likes. Let's do it. Jimmy Redmond, West Ham. They're playing well at the minute. They're doing very, very well. Moyes, I don't know what he's done. I don't know how he's done this. You know, Antonio looks like Alan Shearer. Declan Rice is playing like he's Steven Gerrard.
Let's chill a few levels. What he's playing, boss.
Could West Ham United rock the apple cart and cause you some problems this Sunday?
You asked me the question, could they? They could, they could, you know. But do I think they will? Nah. Because here's why. We messed up against Brighton, innit? Like, we were 2-0 up and we let the league go. And that's one thing I've hated about us this season. For as good as the attacking football can be, and for the fact that for periods of games, we can look like the greatest team in world football by a country mile, it's just... there is also a 10-minute spell, 20-minute spell in games where we will take our foot off the gas. Against Brighton, it was 45 minutes. However, we don't tend to do it back-to-back. You know, we drew against Brentford and then City, to be fair, so that kind of destroys my point. But City, very good team, and, you know, that was just a game of two halves. I think in this one, we're going to be the better team at the end of the day. We're going to have more possession. We're going to have more chances. It's just about, if in the 10-minute spell, 15-minute spell where we do take the foot off the gas, if we do that, because we never against Atletico Madrid, for example, do you know what I mean? But let's say we do, then that's where West Ham can capitalise, because you've got goal scorers, they've got Bowen, who I rate very highly, by the way, Antonio, Declan Rice, Solskjaer. there's goals in that team. Ben
But
Rama.
you guys want Bowen.
What?
You guys
No,
want
we don't. No, we don't. He's about 50 million. He's about 50 million. Do you think we're spending 50 million on someone called Bowen? I do not think so. We're on the Jude Bellingham choo-choo train, Daniel. That's what we're chatting. No, I do think we are going to win this game, though. And even though David Moyes is a phenomenal coach, and, you know, I think his time at Man United was just something that really was, like, undeserved, like, disrespect that he received. In my opinion, because I just think the team he was given was mad. Whereas when you've given him a team to build over time, like Everton, like West Ham, look what he's doing. He's got West Ham as a top 6 contender. You know, when you look at the spending of other teams, that is insane. And you look at his players and stuff like that, they shouldn't be as good as they are, but that's what happens through good coaching, and that's why this is going to be a difficult game. So I do believe we're going to win, and I am going in with chess. That being said, I'm not writing off the West Ham.
Did anyone see a little shock? I want to go to you, Daniel, on this, because I was looking at the stats, and when I say stats, the fixture list, they're not really stats, are they? I was looking at the fixtures. Invariably, between now and Christmas, Chelsea play first or at the same time. I think only once, maybe twice, Liverpool play before you, which gives you a bit of a psychological advantage if you win your game. You're playing Burnley. We're not even previewing that. It's such an easy game for you. Could you see if you win and maybe go like, sort of, would that be 5 points clear of Liverpool? It'd be 5 points clear of Liverpool. Do you think that could apply some pressure and maybe Liverpool crumble in this game in East London?
Do you know what? I actually think Liverpool will win. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans have hated when I go against them. So I'm backing you to win this week. I think the funny thing is, and really and truly, my logic consistently this season has been the games where I think Liverpool would come unstuck are games where I think that teams would be able to capitalize on Liverpool's weaknesses this season. And funnily enough, West Ham are one of those teams that could be able to capitalize on Liverpool's weaknesses, which has been conceding goals, and it's just lack of concentration sometimes. I don't know how James feels about it, but I think Van Dijk doesn't look like imperious. Before you just look at Van Dijk, and
do you want me to tell you the difference? Just dead quick before you finish off your point. The thing with Van Dijk, in my opinion, is he's the same centre back. The difference, which doesn't quite make him the same centre back, is, do you know, before, where he would overextend to make a world-class tackle. He doesn't really have that as much no more, because he's worrying about, you know, if he does overextend on a tackle, then he gets that injury again. And he kicks it off.
No, it makes sense. That's fair enough.
So, but I understand where you're coming from as well. Like, he's not
100.
the most imposing. Like, the fear factor isn't there as much.
That comes into it because those are the margins when it comes to, like, how elite level he was in terms of...
Antonio will be up for this game, lads. Best believe he's going to be looking at Virgil van Dijk like, you're chesty, I'm chesty, let's go. Do you know what I mean?
But nah, man, I do think Liverpool win this game. I think they just might have enough. I've seen Liverpool enough times to know that when everything is ticking, normally they like, you know, when you maybe want to look at the Liverpool scoreline and you see maybe there's a cheeky upset going on and you just see that 2-0 up. And then you're just like, oh yeah, game done.
Like, two goals in the opening 20 minutes. Jess, it's gonna be one of them ones. What's your take on it, Jess?
Well, for me, I'm hoping that this is the beginning of West Ham slipping down just a little bit. I'm looking at their score right now. They're losing against Gent in the Europa League. Genk, yeah. And so I'm like, you're playing a difficult game in Europa League, and then you're going to turn around and play Liverpool, a team that even on fumes could beat up on anybody, you know? So for me, I think West Ham will be up for it, but I feel like they'll be tired. Like, I feel that they'll be tired, and I'm hoping that they are. Like, this is me wishing this into existence. I need them to start dropping points, but I think Liverpool have this. I think you guys will be fine. I think
Jess, you made me feel better, Dave.
West Ham will be up for it, but they're going to be tired. I have this weird feeling that they're going to be tired. Antonio's playing right now. Rice, Benrahma, Soufal, like, some of their better players are actually out there going to play 90 minutes trying to win this game in Europa League. So, and from experience, that can really hurt you in the Premier League when you have to go 90 minutes with your best players midweek. So for me, it's going to be Liverpool, but it'll still be close. Like, it won't be like an ass whooping or anything like that. It definitely will be close, but Liverpool will shade it. I think it'll be like a 3-1 or something like that. 3-2, something like that.
Terry, can I say something? Thank you.
Mate.
Lads, We're going to smash West Ham. Do you want me to tell you why my energy's changed? I've just remembered we've got Fabinho and we've got Thiago, lads. We've fully got the two of the greatest midfielders in the league. I'm not saying they're like 1 and 2, but like they're there, they're in that conversation. The difference, Brighton second half when Naby Keita went off the pitch and we had to make changes and whatnot, we were very open in the midfield. When you have Thiago, Fabinho and Hendo Nino, that is just a creation and a thought of beauty where there's so much composure. There's so much element, Henderson can now play in the number 8. People underestimate how good Liverpool are when they've got Henderson in the number 8 next to Thiago. Fabinho holding the midfield like a 5th centre-back, but he's good at going forward as well. Build up play. We're smashing West Ham. I'm going 3-0. 4-0. Final score.
4-0. That's an that's a big prediction. I actually did, as you were talking, I put these up. I put the correct scores up here with Bet Victor up on the screen. You're getting 4-0. That's 30-1. Are you confident on that, James?
Biscuit for a biscuit, my mate. Biscuit for a biscuit. Because let me tell. Do you want me to give you a percentage on how confident I am?
Go on, mate.
Out of 100, 95.
That's what
I said it, Terry. I said
95%. Listen, viewers. If you fancy backing James Redmond's tip at 4-0 to Liverpool, it's 30-1. I'm going to back it. I'm going to put £2.50. I'm going to put a nice little responsible flutter at £2.50. The link is in the description below for this page. You can go on there now on your app. Get yourself signed up to our title sponsor, Bet Victor. Of course, always read terms and conditions. Be over the age of 18 and do it goddamn responsibly as well. But that's locked in. That's done. If this happens, James, I'm buying you dinner, my mate. I'm buying you dinner, my mate.
Yes, lads, a fancy meal. Hey, but you know what as well? Our away record has been phenomenal this season. Do you know, in terms of scoring goals, 3+ goals each game? Like, I think we can actually do one over on them.
You might be able to. I've got a super chat here. I've got to speak to Deborah. Deborah, all the way in America, always in Las Vegas. She lives in Las Vegas. Is our bet on for the derby is the phrase player power. So it isn't player power. So Debbie's had a bet with me. She's bet me she's going to donate $1,000 to the Football Terrace if I can do a Man United match reaction without saying the words Cristiano, Ronaldo, or CR7. So I will make the bet. And I need you to clarify this. It's just I can't say it. If a caller phones up and says his name, I need to know whether that's exempt because I'll have the bet with you. I can do a whole Man United match reaction without mentioning his name, even if he scores a hat trick. So that $1,000 bet, that $1,000 bet is on. It's on there, Debs. It's on. $1,000 coming my way. That's going to be a nice bit of money. That and Redmond's bet coming in this weekend. I'm very, very excited about that indeed. Up next, we're talking Watford versus Arsenal, or Arsenal versus Watford. Smash that like and share button, people. Let's go. Lee, me old mucker. Arsenal, 10 games unbeaten. Best goalie in the league on form. Maybe pushing for top 4. You've got Watford this weekend. Nothing but an Arsenal win, surely.
Yeah, got to win this game. Massive game. Got to back it up after a performance against Leicester with a win. If we get a win here on Sunday, it puts us definitely above Man United if they lose to Man City. If Man United get a result and beat City, we're level with City. Liverpool playing West Ham, so we're going to gain on. I think we probably might gain on West Ham on that as well. So it's a big game for us to push for top 4. And then what it does, it gives us an unbeaten run over the last 2 in between the international breaks, last 2 of them. And for me, then gives us a free at Liverpool in a couple of weeks' time. Where we can go there and just give it a go. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. We can dust ourselves down and go again. So, but a defeat against Watford puts us back into that 8 to 10 bracket, and we don't need that. So this is very, very important that we beat Watford. And listen, he can be smug and whatever he likes, old James there. Take us lightly like he did Brighton.
Nah, I'm not even doing Lee. I would not do Lee. Can I say something to you, Lee? I love you, my mate. You're hilarious. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. I weren't even laughing at you. I was looking. Basically, Sidemen. You won't know. I don't know if you know Sidemen, Ali, but Sidemen have reacted to my video and someone sent it to me, so that's why I was laughing.
Nice. Quality.
Giggling.
Sorry about that, Lee.
I genuinely think it's important that we win this game. I don't care how we win it, as long as we win it. And then it gives us a chance to go. Listen, for the first time in a long while, I mean this sincerely, going to Liverpool in a couple of weeks with optimism. I'm not saying that we're going to beat Liverpool because they're a very, very good side. But the last few games, I've just gone there thinking, we've got to keep the score down. This time, if we get the win against Watford, I'm going to go there thinking, well, we can give them a good go. Give them a game. I don't think we'll get anything from it, I believe. But I want us to go up there with the confidence of the wins that we've got behind us. And I'll tell you what, Arsenal at this moment in time, it's only a couple of wins. Like, people are going a little bit overboard about Arsenal at the moment. We've got a couple of wins under our belt. We're looking a lot better. The shape and defence is looking a lot more solid. But you've got to back it up. Like, the reason Liverpool and Chelsea are all talking about them winning the titles and that, because they have one thing in common. They consistently win games of football. And that is what we've got to do. We've got to consistently start getting on a good run and winning games. And if we can, same with City, sorry, I'll leave you out there, Lewis, they're the same as well with the consistency. They win games of football. Arsenal have got to get in that bracket. We're nowhere near in that bracket yet. But 4 weeks, I don't know when it was, 2 months ago when we went to City, it was all about just keeping the score down. There was no way we was going to win that. There is a change of attitude now in the Arsenal fan base and with the players.
I hear you now. Got a little bit of echo there. I don't know where that's coming from. That was very strange.
That's me. Yeah, that was
no. It's stopped now as well. That was very strange. Scared me. It always scares me when I hear my own voice come back at me. I'm gonna come to Jess in a minute on it. Lewis, from your point of view, when you look at Arsenal as a football club, I know there's so much banter online. There's everyone kind of calls Arsenal fans that are being positive deluded. You haven't turned the corner, etc. When you look at them, do you feel like there's been this marked improvement in the way they're playing, their structure, winning games, etc.?
Well, I mean, the results tell you that yeah, but I mean, they come to City at the beginning of the season. I mean, they had a bad start into the season, as I'm sure Lee will agree, and they come to City, and I know they got a red card. I can't remember who got sent off now, but
Xhaka.
they were they were embarrassing. Yeah, they were embarrassing. They were shockingly bad. No spirit, no fight. And to be honest, it looked like it was a training game for City. It ended like 5-0, I'm pretty sure it was. So something's obviously happened. Yeah, something's obviously happened. Yeah, something's obviously happened after that. They've got a reaction out of the players, and so fair play to Arteta, because obviously, most of the Arsenal fans at that point was probably calling for the sack, following a 5-0, and obviously he's losing the fan base a little bit, if not already lost it already. So fair play to Arteta, because we all criticise these managers. I've already slated Ole. We've all done that. So you got to give it a little bit of credit, I think, to Arteta. He's turned it around. And the fact that, what are you saying, could Arsenal be in the top 4 come the end of the weekend if results go their way? Or
No.
They can't,
I think
no.
we have to beat, if we win 13-0.
Yeah.
Right. But you're getting close. You could be on par with City come the end of the weekend, and that's pretty mad, So fair play for Arteta for turning it round. Obviously, that Ramsdale, that's a big decision, and that comes to a lot of stick, didn't it? And that's obviously paid off as well. So
if James Redmond, if Jimmy's right, and they beat West Ham 4-0, that means West Ham's goal difference will drop down to +5. I know you're minus. You're still going to have to win 6-0, maybe 7-0. No, but you can't.
Yeah.
But that it's not really position. It's being on the shoulders, isn't it? It's being there or thereabouts, and you've definitely turned it around. And Jess, obviously, you've always been quite. I'm not going to say you're on the fence with Arsenal. That's the wrong phrase. You're just realistic and conservative. You recognise where things have improved, but you'll also you'll not go over the top and be like, "Yeah, we're coming top 4. We're finishing in front of everybody." How impressive have you been with these last 9 games, especially the last 2 performances? Because Leicester, a lot of people said, "Oh, this will be an acid test," and you slapped them. Aston Villa, first time in 4 games that you've you didn't just score against them. You beat them off the park.
We haven't even scored against them.
Yeah, that's it. You didn't score in 4. I mean, how impressed are you? And do you feel like this is the beginning of sort of Arteta's sort of proper era? Is he going to go on to the next level from here now, in your opinion?
Well, they've exceeded my expectations. I'll say that. I think that I predicted we would come out of those, including the Watford game, with about 5 to 7 points. And I got a lot of stick for it. But in reality, until I see something, I can't predict it. That's not me. Going into the next couple of games, because we've done better, I can expect better results. But before that, it was weird, So beating Leicester away from home, a really good attacking team that has some defensive issues, great. Beating Aston Villa, a team that we've had a horrible time against, great. That's amazing. Watford is a banana skin for me. We should easily walk past them, but Arsenal teams in the past have had a couple of good performances and then went up against a team that we should easily beat and not show up. So this is another test in my mind to see if they can stay on the shoulders of the teams that we should be competing against and not fall away because we think our shit doesn't stink. Like that's what I'm looking for. It's just continued performances no matter who it is. We play Liverpool next. I expect to get slapped. Like that's just me. I just expect to get slapped. So we need to get these 3 points now, and it needs to be an easy performance. So for me, I'm still, if you want to call me on the fence, that's a perfect way to call it, because I am kind of sitting in between. But I feel like I'm justified in that. And if we beat Watford, I still feel like it's inconclusive whether or not we're going to make top 6, top 4, whatever, because it's a long season. So I would just say for Arsenal fans, let's just take it game by game. We should beat Watford, but I've seen Arsenal teams in the past really struggle with these teams. So we'll see.
Jess, for me, can I just come in here just quick? For me, I think you're right on Watford could be a banana skin, but for me, I think the real test there is Liverpool after the international break. Now, I'm not saying they need to go there and get a result, because you know that is unlikely. But for me, it's the way that they perform on the day. You know what I mean? They're probably going to get beat off Liverpool, if we're being honest. But how are they going to go down? You know what I mean? Are they going to go down like they did at the Etihad? Because if they do, that tells me that nothing's really changed, and maybe they just went on a little bit of a lucky streak. But if they go to Anfield and put in a good performance, they don't have to win or even get a draw. But if they can come off the pitch and Arsenal fans can after the game say, you know what, they play with spirit, with a bit of fight, then maybe at that point you can go, you know what, maybe things have changed. But until that Liverpool game, I don't think we can get carried away too quickly.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Just really quick, just go ahead.
No, but that's you know, when people talk about Arsenal being back, like I know that it's like people try and tease you with it, but when you start being consistently competitive when you're playing against the big teams, that's a telltale sign that you're on the way to returning, because you just haven't done that consistently for what? And I'm not even trying to be rude. It feels like about 5+ years where most of the time Arsenal were looked at as the underdogs, barring Man United in the Ole Arteta era. You go into the games against Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, and no one gives you a catch chance in hell. And I think that if you can start to make people rethink, that then puts fear in the smaller and lesser teams when they play you, and that always helps. Always helps.
Yeah.
Well, I think what you need. Sorry, Jess.
Oh, no, I was just going to say I agree with that 110%. I just think get through Watford first, get through international break, and then go and look at Liverpool. I haven't seen us perform well against Liverpool or City or any of these teams before, so I still think we're going to get slapped. But you guys are 110% right. If we go there and we lay down and just get a 3-0 drubbing and that's it, then we haven't turned a corner. It needs to be consistent performances no matter who we're playing. Before, it used to be we could beat up on the small teams and then we wouldn't show up against the big teams. Then it became we played okay against the big teams, but they couldn't beat the small teams. It has to be consistent. So I agree with that. But Watford, to me, is still a banana skin. I could easily see us thinking we're the shit and not performing, and that scares me.
I hear you on that. I'm going to come to Lee as our guest on today. I want to correct score prediction that I'm going to put on for this game at the weekend. What are you going with, mate?
I've just heard what Jess has said. I'm going to totally ignore what she said there. Arsenal 3, Watford 0. Like, there you go. Like, you know,
there we go. Arsenal 3. That's 9-1 odds there. With
tag it, spend your money. I just feel that, you know, like, look at what we got. What this game is, if we win this game, and I agree with what Jess is saying to a certain extent, if you disrespect any side and take them lightly, you can always come unstuck. So you've got to do it. But what Arsenal need to do is, and it's great listening to what other fans have got to say, is that make it like, hold on, not fearing, like thinking, Arsenal are changing. They look like they're a different animal. And that is what we've got to do. So if we go to Anfield and give it a right good go, as Lewis was saying, and come away with a different, like, you know, a 2-1 defeat when we're battling like last minute winner from Liverpool or whatever, you can turn around and go, oh, hold on a minute, there's something happening at Arsenal. We have now got to start fearing them a little more instead of mocking us, and that's where we are at the moment. We've been mocked, quite rightly so, but hopefully those days are over now.
And they very well could be. They very well could be if things continue in this fashion. I'm putting a £2.50 flutter there on 3-0. That gives me a return of £25 with Bet Victor. The link for the Arsenal versus Watford odds are in our description below. So, Gooners, if you fancy backing your team, go and get that done now. Remember, you can sign up to your free Bet Victor account. When you bet your first £5, they give you £30.
I'll have a meal at the Savoy if that's all right. Yeah.
At the Savoy, I mean, for £25, I'll take you for a Sam's chicken burger. We have a few wings and chips, bro. We'll do that. Actually, I haven't been in ages. The CAF, as you come out of the Emirates, just on the corner by the roundabout. We'll go there. We'll go there and have a bit.
The Wonderlight, yeah, we can go there. Like, yeah.
It's nice. I like it in there. I've been there a few times. Deborah here says you can't say it the entire day. Fans can do what they like, but I just can't say Cristiano Ronaldo or CR7 for the whole day. I'm getting £1,000 on Saturday, people. I'm not going to say
Who's going to fail that?
No, I'm not.
You're going to fail that.
Have some faith, Jessica. Have some faith, Jessica. Evening, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed your day. Happy Diwali to everyone who celebrated Diwali, and Happy New Year. Yes, I echo that sentiment as well. If you celebrated it, Dinesh, then I hope you had a wonderful day with your friends and family and all that jazz. Terry is an Arsenal fan. It's weird.
Well, that's some interesting
Well, he should
news.
be. Well, no. He should
Some
be a
breaking
Tottenham
news.
fan,
Charlie's my
but
brother. He knows. Yeah, I should be an Arsenal fan. Why? Because I'm from London.
He should be a Tottenham fan.
Why? Because my dad's a Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also grew up. My tower block used to overlook Leighton Orient's ground, so we used to be able to, like, that's how close I was to Brisbane Road, literally on Brisbane Road. No, I picked Man United because I wanted glory. It's not paying off right now though. In my adult life, it's shit. It's so bad. It really is. Final subject of the day, though, ladies and gentlemen. Just quickly before we go, will Tottenham win a trophy under Antonio Conte? Jess, I'm coming to you first on this. Conte's in my opinion, the best manager Tottenham have had since Bill Nicholson. Will they win a trophy, in your opinion?
Oh, that's a statement, isn't it?
Best since. I don't think they've had a better manager since him.
Pochettino?
Yeah.
No.
Conte's better than Poch. Conte's better than Poch. Gotta be.
Well,
better than Venables, better than Oddle.
Conte and Poch is not even a debate. It's not.
listen. Pochettino, before he got into it, took Tottenham to somewhere I've never seen in my life. You know what I mean? So let's see if Conte can do that before we go on about it.
What are you saying, Jess?
I think that potentially, I don't know. I'm not sure. Definitely not going to win the Premier League. Definitely not going to win the Champions League. So nothing big. Maybe a Carabao Cup.
That's so funny, you know. You Arsenal fans
like
look at Tottenham the way we look at Everton. I swear to God.
It's kind of like that, where it's like, I'm not about to sit here like, you know, maybe a Carabao Cup.
Maybe a League Cup.
But...
Maybe.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee.
But I'm gonna be fair that they are going to improve under him. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, they're not going to be a better team. It's hard. It would be difficult for them not to be better. They had down tools on Nuno. You know, he'll get something out of them. Kane will probably be playing again. But Carabao Cup is pretty much what I see that's going to look like. Now, next season, we'll see after the transfer window and all of that. It could either go up or crash and burn. You know how it is, you know, after a year or so being under certain managers. But in the short term, they're not winning the Premier League this season. They're not even in Champions League. Maybe they'll win the, what is it? The Europa?
The current
conference.
And
By
the way, I've just seen the lineup, actually. He's picked a proper team. Like, it's pretty much, I would say his best players, but it's, well, yeah, hang on. Yeah, so Ben Davis starts, Romero starts, Dyer, Royale, and Reguilon. So, yeah, it does look like a kind of, I don't know who's
so back.
No, Davis
Everybody.
was going to be the centre back, so he's not going to be a fullback anymore. He's going to be a centre back.
He's going to be a centre back. He's going to do it. Like, look, I don't know. How about yourself, Lou? Do you feel like Conte could turn, could turn City, Tottenham into like contenders, Champions League contenders? Or what do you reckon he'll do with them?
I think he's a cup manager, mate. I know, and the way I say that is because I don't see anything past Liverpool or City for the Prem. Like over 38 games, I just see Klopp and Pep just owning the league. Like, and it's the same with Tuchel. I put them in similar brackets, Conte and Tuchel. I think they're excellent cup managers. Yeah, on a one-off game, but to do it for 38 games, like. It's a slog, man. It's a really, really hard, and I just don't think Chelsea or Tottenham will get close to City or Liverpool. And, I think it's going to be one of them two. But can he win a trophy? Oh, absolutely, he can win a trophy. He's got some class players there, and he's a good manager. But I don't see him winning the Prem. That's staying in the Northwest, mate.
That's interesting, though. Obviously, I actually think that Conte can do something at Tottenham. I was actually going to be in Lewis's corner and back him and just say, when everyone was talking about how Liverpool look at Everton and Arsenal look at Tottenham, I was going to say Man City look at United the same way these days now as well. Sorry. But no, in all honesty though, like, look, I think Conte, what you need to remember about Conte is he's a very, very class manager when it comes to knowing how to utilize the squad. He utilizes his squad effectively. Players that you do not expect no one can tell me Victor Moses would have revived his career in the way that it happened. No one can tell me Marcus Alonso, who had played for Sunderland and Bolton in the Premier League, that no one even batted an eyelid to, he turned into one of the best left wing backs. Where at a point, people, before we had seen how Marcus Alonso was playing at left back, people were saying Marcus Alonso was the best left back in the league. Do you know what I mean? When he was playing left wing back. So you just need to remember that Conte elevates players to a certain standard. He gets every single ounce of blood out of those players. So you just never know. In reference to the Tuchel comment, I think it's very, very hard to say. We need to see it, of course. I think Tuchel's doing well so far. Currently top of the league again. Of course, we have to use that as as evidence. But it's only been 10 games. But we could say the same for Pep, though, in terms of the Champions League. I mean, he hasn't won it since he had Messi. So Pep's only a manager that can win the Champions League without the best player, arguably the best player of all time. So we can look at it both ways, really, if we're talking about that.
I knew Daniel got a little bit emotional over that comment, you know.
Yeah, I see Daniel does.
Not gonna like that
one. I'm a Chelsea fan through and through. I'll back my club through anything.
Yeah, but
I agree with that statement, though. I think Tuchel and Conte are in the same category, which I think is a good thing. I think Klopp and Pep are on another level, but then them two are there and thereabouts. Antonio Conte is a good manager, man, and at the end of the day, even though like that back five that you've just said was a little bit mad, it is the Conference League, so he's going to make changes. That being said, Conte, he's going to give Spurs a system. He's going to give them an identity. Whether it's exciting football week in, week out, who gives a shiny shite? Because, mate, they need a trophy. They need results. Results get you trophies. Therefore, I think they'll be in a shout with all of them. I think they'll be in a shout with the FA Cup, League Cup, and I think they can make a really, really good push for top four.
It's there. So we've got the odds below, right? I'm going to go to Lee on this. Lee, what do you think's more likely this season for Tottenham? To win a trophy at 11-4, to win no trophy at 1-4, or to finish above Arsenal at 11-8?
They're still in the League Cup.
They are still in the League Cup, yeah. So what I'm going to give this one to you, Lee. Are they winning one, not winning one, or do you think they'll finish above you in the league?
They've got a very, very good chance of winning the conference. If that's involved with that, they've got a good chance of winning that. There's only two teams in that. They've got a chance of winning that. And also, at this moment in time, I would turn around and say that West Ham were favourites at the weekend when that draw come out. Not now, because of Conte. I think, let's get it right. When I say about a good manager for Tottenham, Conte's a good manager. There's no two ways about that. But ultimately, Chelsea, the last two managers at Chelsea that have gone from Chelsea to Tottenham ain't done that great at Tottenham. So let's hope it's another third time as well. And Glenn Hoddle, he got the sack. And of course, Maureen, he got the sack and all that, and Boris as well. So it's three of them. Yeah, I forgot about him. But I didn't really class him as a manager. But there you go. So, so every Chelsea manager goes, it doesn't do too well. So let's hope it's the fourth one. I forgot about it. So for me, I'm going to say there's still some good teams in that League Cup, but I don't think Liverpool are going to play. James will probably know this more than me. I don't think that they're going to play a strong side in that League Cup. I really don't.
Well, we're in the quarters now, aren't we? We might from now on. We haven't recently though, so maybe.
Yeah, you know, we'll bloody Man City going out to West Ham. You know, that makes it a little bit easier for everybody else. So, but the mighty Arsenal are still in there. Without Europe, you can't write us off in that competition. So, no trophy. Next. For Tottenham, I think that's where you got to go for.
No trophy.
At the end of the day, they ain't going to challenge for the league, are they? There's no, you know, if they do, that'd be unbelievable. But you know, just as Lewis said, that's between Liverpool and Man City. So you know, I would say that the FA Cup, anything can happen in the FA Cup. You know, Chelsea will be up for that as well. So. No trophies for me.
I hear you. Hey, dead quick, Terry. Just can I make a point about Antonio? Because I want to play devil's avocado here with Antonio Conte. I feel like we're not putting like proper respect on him. This is a man, that went to Inter, won the league with Alexis Sanchez, Ashley Young, and Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, he's not to be underestimated. 100%.
He should not be underestimated. And I just think to myself, you know, look at last season, for example. Jose Mourinho had Tottenham in a League Cup final, and weren't they top or thereabouts in December?
And you got to look at James. You got to look at Chelsea last year. You know,
100%.
struggling under Lampard. They bring in Tuchel and look at them then.
The change of a good coach can change everything. They've still got world-class players.
Can change everything.
Romero's a good centre-back in his own right. All these things, if you put them together,
mate, I agree with you. So I'm not gonna go winning a trophy or not winning a trophy or not. I'm gonna go with. I think they're going to finish above Arsenal in the league. I think they'll finish above Arsenal in the league. And I don't. It's not even a knock at Arsenal. You've improved. But for me, they actually have a world-class manager. And I think they just have a manager that, barring Pep, Klopp and Tuchel, and I think they're all in and around each other for one reason or another, he's just superior to everybody else. And I've never seen him manage a team, not in his first year at least, where it doesn't work. So I think when you look at his record, yes, people say in 18 months, it can all fall apart. But this first season, I could see Tottenham maybe only losing one or two more games this year, legit, and going on a really good run. Tuchel is that good a manager. He could. I don't think that's a bad shout. So I'm going to go with him finishing above Arsenal in the Premier League at 11-8. And I'm going to stick a little fiver on that. A little cheeky fiver is what I'm going to stick on it. Look at Jesse. Look at the anger. Why
isn't there one for finishing above Man United? Why is it just us?
There
should
is.
Be one for finishing above Man United
shit! Yeah, you'll still have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer by the time it gets to the end of the season. Why aren't you putting yourself in that conversation?
Okay.
Like Jess, you defend your ground.
So do you think it's more likely to finish above Arsenal or Man United?
I mean, both of you guys should finish above us since you guys are so much better than us, right?
So to finish above Man United, it's 6-1. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'll put it on Man United instead. It's better odds. 6-1.
There you go.
To finish above Manchester United.
Better odds for them to finish above United. Bet Victor don't rate United. Terry.
6-1. 6-1. Listen, I don't make them make the odds. I mean, I don't run it over there. I'm putting it on Man United just so you all know I'm doing it. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. I never place a bet without letting you see. That's done. Tottenham to finish above Man United because Jess got angry. Is essentially why we're doing it. It's essentially why we're doing it tonight. Cesar here says if Spurs don't win a trophy under Conte, they need to delete this club and start all over again. I think some people would agree with you on that. I know a lot of people have super chatted in their phrases. None of them were right. I did read them all. I just didn't get the chance to put them all up on the screen. So thank you, Bash, who put up the phrase concede a goal. It wasn't that. Bottle job isn't the phrase even. Papa says flop of the season. None of them are the phrases. None of the ones that have come through are the phrases. Sorry, I can't put them up on the screen. StreamYard is bad like that. And it was 2-1 to West Ham, but a few people are saying there's been an own goal now.
It's 2-2.
That's 2-2 as it stands right now, but there we go. We were going to do a bit of a right-back debate, but we have run out of time this evening, so we're going to save that for another day. We have run out of time. We're already an hour and a half in. Lee, James... We'll save that. We'll save it. Lewis, James, Lee, Jess, Daniel, thank you all very, very much for coming on. The viewers, super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button. It's humbling as always. Thank you to Bet Victor for making this show possible. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll